Thank you. Obviously, the roots of this go back a long ways. How much would you say is within the manipulation of the Judaic faith, or its collision with expedient factors and other political agendas, British, others, so on, all these great games?
Well, I believe you guys heard Rabbi Shapiro speak here a while back. This has nothing to do with the Jewish faith. The most important rabbis throughout history stood and resisted, and to this day resist, this notion of Zionism. In the year 1900, maybe Rabbi Shapiro mentioned this, in the year 1900, Zionism was in its infancy. The major rabbis of the world published a book in Hebrew. And that book basically was a warning to Jewish people from the dangers of Zionism. And they said basically three things. Number one, this notion of a so-called Jewish state, or Zionism, will bring violence to the Holy Land. And then they said it will ruin the good relations between Jews and Arabs and Jews and Muslims that existed throughout the Arab world and in Palestine. And then they said it would cast doubt as to the loyalty of Jewish people in the countries where they live, because Jewish people have been living for thousands of years as a religious minority in other countries. Now, the very definition of Jews as a nation, again, Rabbi Shapiro may have said this, is that they are a nation united by its faith, not by a language or a country or a nationality. So none of this has anything to do with Jews. And if you look at the writings of the early Zionists, and even the expression of my parents' generation as they looked at Jews, like religious Jews, to them, a Zionist is the opposite of a Jew. They said these words. They despise Jews, traditional Jews, believing Jews. But Judaism is, of course, a faith. It's a religion. So they tried to create something that is completely, different than what Jews are and what Judaism is. They created this notion that Jews are a nation like regular nations, that the Bible, the Old Testament, is a history book that has nothing to do with faith, and that Palestine is our homeland.